Hi, I'm Todd Rose, and today I'm sitting down with Katie Fahey from Voters Not Politicians, and we're going to learn more about one of the many things voters will see on the 2018 ballot, which is Proposal 2. Katie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So before we get into the proposal itself, can you tell us a little bit more about Voters Not Politicians, how that came about, and more so how your process of becoming involved in Proposal 2 came about?
Yeah, so I am here today because I made a Facebook post. Didn't think I would ever be running a political campaign, wasn't in politics, but it's been really exciting, actually. So in 2016, after the election, I was thinking about Thanksgiving dinner, and I was feeling a little apprehensive, didn't really want to go because there'd been a lot of arguing. My family doesn't all vote the same way. But when I was thinking about it, I really heard a couple common messages, even if people aren't voting for the same people. So the whole drain the swamp message from Donald Trump, and then the political revolution from Bernie Sanders and other people, it just seemed like everybody wanted change. Like the politicians in charge aren't really working or listening to we the people. And so to me that meant, we can vote one way, but maybe we could work on something together that actually addresses the whole process of politics or the problem there. And so I made a Facebook post. It said, hey, I want to take on gerrymandering in Michigan. If you want to help, let me know. Smiley face. And then a lot of people started joining on. But what's really funny is at Thanksgiving dinner, my family actually didn't know what gerrymandering was. So it didn't completely work, but now they're involved.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned that your family didn't know what gerrymandering was, and I think that might be a term that not a lot of people are too familiar with. Can you explain what gerrymandering is to our viewers?
Yeah. So we have representatives that we vote for. We have our state house, our state senate, and then we have our federal congressional members. And so those members, we're all lumped together as voters in different voting districts. And once every 10 years after the census, our politicians go behind closed doors with lobbyists and the political parties, and they try and divide up our communities and say, oh, I like the way you vote, or I don't like the way you vote, so I'm going to either include you or not include you. Or even if a politician knows where the person running against them lives, they can draw their house out of the district 3 months before the election, which is ridiculous. It's a very large conflict of interest where, of course, if you're going to be playing in a game and you get to make the own rules, you're going to benefit. Try and make yourself benefit. And so gerrymandering is just a term of saying when those lines are drawn, they're drawn to benefit a political party or an individual politician.
Okay, so now it's been a process, I'm sure, to get Proposal 2 on the ballot. So what has that process been, and what's how does it plan to fulfill the mission of ending gerrymandering in Michigan?
Yeah, so in Michigan, we have, as citizens, the power to write constitutional language and then gather 315,654 signatures in 180 days, and then something can be put on the ballot so that all of us as voters can go and vote on it. For me, I didn't know exactly what the right solution should be. We went and we talked to a bunch of other states that had changed things. There's 6 states that have something that's not the politicians drawing the lines. And in those states, you see people who are happier with their representatives. So what we did is we actually wanted to go and ask the people of Michigan, what do you think? So we actually started up here in Marquette, and we had these things called town halls where we talked about, what's redistricting and gerrymandering, how is it done in Michigan, what does it look like in the states that aren't Michigan, that have not politicians drawing the lines, and then what do you want in a process? So we had conversations and we had big surveys so people could say, whether they like that politicians do it or who does and how they want it to look and what the system should look like. And then we had over 4,000 people help gather signatures, and then even had to go to the Michigan Supreme Court, but now we are officially on the ballot in Proposal 2. And really, when we went across the state, we did these 33 town halls in 33 days. What we kept hearing were a couple of things. We heard that people just wanted a process that was fair. Nobody really trusts our systems right now. Our elections really are kind of rigged when it comes to redistricting. And so people wanted something that had Democrats, Republicans, Independents at the table. They also wanted something that was impartial. So they don't like politicians and lobbyists getting to choose for all the rest of us, who they like and who they don't. So they wanted, regular people in charge of the process. And the last thing we heard is that they wanted a process that they could actually attend and be a part of. So a big part of our proposal is transparency and making sure people can, attend these meetings, or you could actually watch online and do comments, and the commissioners will have to respond. So our overall solution will be an independent citizens redistricting commission, 13 members, 4 will be Republicans, 4 Democrats, and then 5 independent or third-party folks. At least 2 of the Republicans, 2 of the Democrats, and 2 of the independents all have to agree. A compromise isn't common right now, but they'll have to. And then they'll have to actually go across the state and listen to the people of Michigan to see how do we want our communities lumped together so that it's looking out for us, the people, and not a political party or a politician. And we're really excited to be able to get a system that is just good for all voters, no matter which way you vote.
Awesome. That actually was my next question. So anyway, before we let you go, what's your one big advice to all voters out there when they look at their 2018 ballot?
Yeah, so the ballot this year is huge. There's lots of candidates, there's 3 proposals, and then there's the Supreme Court justices. So for these proposals, you want to flip over your ballot and vote all the way past the candidates, go to the nonpartisan section, and look at all the proposals. If you like a proposal, you want to vote yes, because sometimes the wording is confusing. So you want to vote yes if you like it, you want to vote no if you don't. But I would just say the number one thing you can do is make sure you read about the issues and go all the way to the bottom of the ballot.
All right, and where can people go for more information about Proposal 2?
Yes, so you can go to votersnotpoliticians.com or vnp.vote, or we're also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So definitely recommend getting involved and learning more about Proposal 2.
Awesome. Well, Katie, thank you for your time today, and hope our viewers enjoyed learning more about Proposal 2.
Thank you so much for having us.
Not a problem.